What's up, y'all? Welcome to an episode of my CD recap. This is your boy Reg in the building. Just letting you guys know this is going to be the last of the redone CD recaps. Right after this, I should be back on page and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to upload the next CD recap so I can be up to date and so I can get some space on my phone before I get into that box right there. Excuse the little mess because in order for me to do these CD recaps, I gotta take out certain CDs. I don't want to put everything back and take it back out again. So hopefully I can get through it up to the Master Ace Disposable Arts. Without further ado, let's get this shit started. All right. First album I'm going to show you. Going to start off with one of my favorite MCs of all time. Kool G Rap and DJ Polo, Wanted Dead or Alive. This is actually their second studio album. Very dope album. In my opinion, this might be kind of controversial, but this is actually my favorite Kool G Rap album ever. You know what I'm saying? Nothing against, because I know everyone says Live and Let Die was the best Kool G Rap and DJ Polo album and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But personally, I feel like with this album, he definitely stepped his game up. I feel like this was really like the first Mafioso album right here, shit like that, if you ask me. Because Road to the Riches, that was a good album. Excuse me, but he was trying to find his style with that one. He was more on like the lyrical tip. With this one, it's like a bit more storytelling and shit like that. Kind of a few political tracks too. Like this album was known for Streets of New York. I mean, one of Kool G Rap's illest songs, Erase Racism. Classic track right there. Rest in peace, Biz Markie. What else? Talk Like Sex. One of the all-time greatest sex hip-hop tracks ever. In my opinion, Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank. Play It Cool. That's actually my favorite. Play It Again Polo is actually my favorite track off this album. But yeah, Kool G Rap. This is a very album. I don't hear nobody talk about this record like that. Then we have Kool G Rap and DJ Polo, their last album, Live and Let Die. This album came out in 1992. Very dope album. I highly recommend this album. This album was very controversial when it came out. Well, because the album, of course, if you watch this, it has like Polo and G-Rap holding up a bank, and then you have the white people hanging on nooses and shit like that too. And like, when this album came out, Cold Chillin' was kind of like in like a lot of controversy. Well, not Cold Chillin', but Warner Brothers, their parent company, because that was the same year Ice-T and his group Body Count dropped the Cop Killer song, and they were so hot off the tracks on that once this album came out, Warner Brothers didn't want anything to do with Cold Chillin', so they just dropped their partnership with them. And so that's how in like some of the latter Cold Chillin' albums, they were partnered up with Epic Street and stuff like that too, you know what I'm saying? And also too, they didn't really drop singles off this album until like maybe like 93, from what I looked up and shit like that too. And it's a damn shame because this album is very dope. In my opinion, this album reminds me so much of Ice Cube's America's Most Wanted. Well, that's maybe because, Sir Jinx did some of the production. I don't want to call like an East Coast equivalent because America's Most Wanted, when the people like it or not, is pretty much an East-West Coast fusion, if that makes sense. You know what I'm saying? And so with this one, Kool G Rap is definitely experimental with some of that West Coast production. And it wasn't just, Sir Jinx, because G Rap, he also did some production too. You had the Trackmasters. Yes, the same Trackmasters, that was famous for doing shit with Foxy Brown, LL Cool J. But, back in the day, like the early 90s, they were doing like some very grimy shit. Like they did stuff for like Red Hot Levatone, Kool G Rap, of course, you know what I'm saying, Chubb Rock. So yeah, don't associate the Trackmasters too much with like some of their mid to late 90s stuff, which I do love. But their earlier era, like from like maybe like 92 to 94-ish, I love that era from them. They were definitely on some grimy shit. But back to this album, very dope album. Crime Pays, that's like my favorite track of this album. Ill Street Blues. Home Sweet Home. My only gripe, I wish they would have put the video version of On the Run on this album, which the album version was cool, but I think the video version, I think that was the Untouchables remix or whatever. That fit the album more. And I hate when rappers do that shit, but I understand it too because they want to also say buy the single as well too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I wish more artists these days would do some shit like that, like drop a single then have like a remix or some B-sides or some shit, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, Kool G Rap and DJ Polo Live and Let Die. Classic album. Then we have Kool G Rap on the solo tip, 456. This album came out in 1995. Very dope album, in my opinion, you know what I'm saying? This definitely has a very like a rainy, wintry kind of feel to it. You know what I'm saying? Cause at the time Kool G Rap and DJ Polo kind of parted ways, and pretty much like when he was doing this record, he pretty much said he didn't like this record from what I looked up because he felt like he rushed this album to say the least, you know what I'm saying? And Cold Chillin' kind of wanted like a commercial album, which I don't really consider this album commercials as to say. It had some moments like, Fast Life with Nas, which I'm gonna be real with you guys. I kind of prefer the Buck Wild version. I never really was a big Surface fan, and they use that "Only You Can Make Me Happy." I still bump it once in a while, but I'm more of a Buck Wild version of that. 456 was dope. Take 'em in war. Shit ain't never gonna change. Fuck it. Him, B1 and MF Grimm did their thing. For the Brothers. This whole album is very dope in my opinion, highly recommended album. Then we got Roots of Evil. This album came out in 1998. In my opinion, his best solo album and one of the most underrated mafioso albums to date, if you ask me. This album, when he did this album, he was literally on the run at that time too. He was actually in Arizona, and he was also dating Superhead like around this time and stuff. Like I think he was dating her during the 456, but they were like really serious around this time too. You know what I'm saying? So y'all should know the story with that. Very, very, very dope album. It's like more of like a concept album. You have songs like Home Sweet Funeral, which that's actually Papoose' first appearance on Wax. Mobsters, Thug Love Story, you know what I'm saying? Can't Stop the Shine with Miss Jones was dope. Yeah, very underrated. And then finally we have Kool G Rap with the Giancana Story. This album came out in 2002. This album was okay. Kool G Rap, he did his thing as usual, but the production on this album was kind of hit or miss. You know what I'm saying? He actually did this on Koch Records and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And this album was supposed to have came out, I think, 01. But, he was like a free agent at that time, too. And, it was Ruckus and Koch Records, excuse me. And originally, they wanted to have like the Neptunes do the whole album for him, which, thank God, that did not go through, because I cannot imagine Neptunes giving him the shit that they were doing for like Jay and Snoop. I'm like, no, I can't imagine that. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know how I feel about the Neptunes. I'm not like the biggest Neptunes fan like that. I'm more for 96 to 99 fan of them, you know what I'm saying? But that's another story for a different day. Songs like Where You're At with Prodigy was dope. I liked The Streets, I like that. My Life remix with Capote Noriega. Yeah. For Kool G Rap fans, this is the album for you. Then we have Criss Cross, Young, Rich, and Dangerous. This album came out in 1996. This is their final album to date. Their final album. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the biggest Criss Cross fan, y'all should know. I used to have The Bomb, but I gave that shit to Try. Shout out to Try, by the way. You know what I'm saying? Because I got that as part of a CD lot, you know what I'm saying? But I never liked that album. If I do get totally crossed out, one day, but this album, I like this album. This might be their best album to date, and it's a damn shame too. We got to wait through like 2 either average to mediocre albums and stuff like that. But the production, the production from Jermaine Dupri was some of his best here. And I'm like I said, Jermaine Dupri, he's an acquired taste to some people, but he did his thing on this one. Songs like "When the Homies Show Up," "Tonight's the Night," "Live and Die for Hip Hop." I mean, this whole fucking album is fucking dope in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? I think "Rest in Peace." I want to say it's "This Member That Died." Rest in peace to him. I want to say that's Chris Mack or whatever. So yeah, rest in peace to him and shit like that. Then we have the great KRS-One, Return of the Boom Bap. This album came out in 1993. Hip hop classic in my opinion. My favorite KRS-One album to date. I just love this album cover and stuff like that. Him just sitting in the studio like recording and stuff. I love how like they kind of slanted the album cover like a little bit. You know what I'm saying? This album came out 1 year after Sex and Violence, which I kind of consider that like an unofficial solo album from KRS-One because that was the time when the Boogie Down Productions pretty much parted ways, where he pretty much discontinued and he got new members. Like, he shorted it out to like Kenny Parker and Willie D. Not the Willie D you're thinking about from the Ghetto Boys. This was actually a Bronx rapper and shit like that. So yeah, man. Stay tuned for my thoughts on that when I get to the vinyl collection. But this album, it's pretty much like Sex and Violence, but without the controversy, more on like the lyrical tip. This is like a nice return of form, if you ask me. It kind of gives me like Criminal Minded. No, I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that. It's just a nice like back to the basics hip hop kind of album. Sound of the Police, love that track. Mad Crew, I Can't Wake Up, Black Cop. I mean, this whole album is so ill in my opinion. Like, this is KRS-One at his finest. Then we have his self-titled sophomore album that came out in 1995. Another very great album. I know a lot of fans say this is his best solo album. I'm not gonna argue with that, but I'm more for Return to the Boom Bap fan, as y'all just witnessed. But this one, he still was on his lyrical game with this one. Like, yeah, that's like my favorite track off this record. I like the album version a bit more than the video version, because I think the video version was part of a soundtrack. I forgot what soundtrack it was. I know it was like it came out in 94. And that video version just had like the drums. Whereas with this album version, he had like a bit more instrumentation on this one. Free Mia with Channel Live was dope. That's actually Channel Live's first appearance on Wax. You know what I'm saying? I need to get my hands on that Station Identification album. You know what I'm saying? MCs Act Like They Don't Know was very good. The Automatic with Fat Joe. Him and Fat Joe always made some dope shit together. I love the song Bronx Sale from the Jealous Ones Envy track. You know what I'm saying? They should have done an album together, but Fat Joe was busy doing other shit. That's all I'm gonna say. But this is a very dope album. Must have in your collection. Then we got The Lox with We Are the Streets. This album came out in 2000. Very good album. I love this album. This album came out like 2 years after Money, Power, Respect. And they had to leave Bad Boy Records because they didn't like the contracts they were signing and the commercial direction that Puff wanted them to take. You know what I'm saying? So that caused like a bit of feud for years, which they actually, buried a hatchet and stuff like that too. But still, very, very good album. They signed to Rough Riders. This is like their best album to date. They have a song like Fuck You, Y'all Fucked Up Now, Breathe Easy, Wild Out. I love that track. Ride or Die Bitch. Fucking amazing album. I love it. Then we have Patti LaBelle, Burnin'. This album came out in 1991. Very good album from Patti LaBelle. With this album, she kind of was on like a New Jack Swing kind of feel to it. You know what I'm saying? I love the album cover. She was killing it in this album cover. Feels Like Another One, very dope track. She did that song with Big Daddy Kane and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Somebody Loves You Baby. That was an amazing track. I Don't Do Duets. We all know that's a lie. Burning, like this whole album, nice little track right here, stuff like that too. You know, she executive produced this album, so you know Patty got to sound good. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, check out the review we did for that. I love that review. Then we have Kendrick Lamar. You know, Section 80. This album came out in 2011. Yes, I do have this album. Very, very, very dope album. This album is very hard to come by. You know what I'm saying? Very, very, very hard to come by. You know what I'm saying? This is known for songs like Hold Up, Fuck Your Ethnicity, you know what I'm saying? Very, very, very dope album right here. Good luck finding this because this is very hard to come by and stuff like that. This is pretty much, you know, one of the first copies that ever came out, you know. So Kendrick Lamar, Section 80. Then we have Good Kid, Mad City. Yes, I got both editions and stuff like that. Shout out to my boy DJ. He hooked me up with this. Copy. This is the copy I've always wanted. I love the album cover on this one and shit like that. Yeah, this album came out, man. This really changed the game. You know what I'm saying? Not just one of the best hip hop albums, but one of the best albums of all time. Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe, Poetic Justice, Good Kid, Mad City, man. When I hear this album, it takes me back to high school when I was bumping this shit. You know what I'm saying? This right here is actually the deluxe version. And it also has some extra tracks like The Recipe with Dr. Dre, which that was like one of his first big songs right there. Yeah, it's Now or Never with Mary J. Blige. That was pretty good. So, yeah, Kendrick Lamar, Good Kid, Mad City. Now, his magnum opus, To Pimp a Butterfly. This album came out in 2015. A must-have in anybody's collection. He definitely wanted a more political approach with this one. You know what I'm saying? Like, when this album came out, you know, we were going through the whole, like, Trayvon Martin, you know, Black Lives Matter was, you know, popping around that time, too, you know. So, this pretty much was, like, the soundtrack to that time. It was a very dope album. I love, again, when this album came out, man, I was definitely starting college around this time, too. You know what I'm saying? This is a hip hop classic. I don't give a fuck what no one says. King Kunta was very dope. Hood Politics, How Much a Dollar Costs, For Free Interlude. You know what I'm saying? I even love For Sale too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, this album right here, must have in your collection. And then we have Damn. This album came out in 2017. You know, when I first heard this record, I don't even know what to think of it. You know what I'm saying? I felt like it was definitely a more experimental album. You know, he had like more like a religious kind of feel to it. But now it's like one of my favorite records from him, in my personal opinion. I feel like it's just as good as Good Kid and Pimp a Butterfly. You know, this album was known for songs like Loyalty with Rihanna, Pride, Triple X with U2 was very good. Element, you know what I'm saying? This was a very nice album. I love this one. Then we have the recent album, Mr. Morales and the Big Steppers. You know, this album came out in 2022, last year. Must have in your collection. Now, I do admit, it's not as good as Damn, but I feel like it's still a work that stands alone, in my opinion. You know, you have songs like, you know, damn, I hate when they do this fucking shit. Like Purple Hearts with Ghostface and Summer Walker was dope. I fucking love the fucking We Belong Together track was good. Shit. I hate when artists don't put the fucking track list thing anymore, but hey, you know what I'm saying? N95, I like that one. You know what I'm saying? Rich Spirit. You know what I'm saying? And this is actually his last album with Top Dog Entertainment and shit too. So who knows what lies in the future for Kendrick? You know what I'm saying? We have Martin Lawrence with his first comedy album, Talking Shit. You know, very good, funny comedy album. You know, this time he was hosting Def Comedy Jam. You know, he had a Martin show at that time. He was just killing it in that era too. You know what I'm saying? Songs, you know, has like talking about Michael Jackson, you know, talking about sex and shit like that. Very funny. Then we have Leaders of the New School with the Time album. The Inner Mind's Eye, The Endless Dispute with Reality. Very dope album. My favorite Leaders of the New School album. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, this was the last album they came out with. This is known for songs like Classic Material. The Diamond D remix. Whew. All I gotta say. What's Next? Xerox and stuff like that. Bases Loaded. Very, very dope album. You know what I'm saying? Then we got Lecrae, After the Music Stops, 2006. You know, this was like a Christian rap album. I'm not the biggest fan of Christian rap, but Lecrae's an exception. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my homeboy Brandon for hooking me up with this for a birthday present. You know, this was known for songs like It's Your World, After the Music Stops. You know what I'm saying? Very good album. It's been years since I bumped this album. All right. You already know what we about to do. We already know what we about to talk about next. The great Led Zeppelin. All right, Led Zeppelin 1, 1969. Classic rock album. One of my favorites to date, you know what I'm saying? Definitely there was still a bit more bluesy with this one. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Love Dazed and Confused, You Shook Me, How Many More Times. That's like my favorite track off that record. You know what I'm saying? Must have in anybody's collection. Then we had Led Zeppelin 3, 1970. You know, this album kind of gets a little bad rap from friends sometimes. They feel like it was a bit too soft because they went a bit more acoustic. But in my opinion, they had some of the heaviest songs on this record. You know what I'm saying? Like Celebration Day. Dun, 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 dun. Like, come on. Immigrant Song. You know what I'm saying? I Love Friends. You know what I'm saying? That's the Way. Since I've Been Loving You, I like, but I feel like it didn't really fit the album. I kind of would prefer that maybe on Led Zeppelin 2. Hell, even Led Zeppelin 4, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, this is a very, very, very great album. Must have in your collection. Then we had Led Zeppelin 4, aka the Untitled album. This album came out in 1971. This is actually, I think, their most successful album to date. Very good album. You know what I'm saying? This was known for songs like Black Dog, Stay Away to Heaven. You all know that song, Going to California. Like, this album to me this was like when they just sustained and stuff like that, you know. A lot of people have said it's like their best album. I'm not gonna argue with that. See, my favorite album, it's gonna surprise a lot of people, but this might be ranked like my third favorite. Cause yeah. But even with the Zepp, you can't go wrong with them. Give me 1 second. Yeah, now we're gonna get into their fucking 1973 Houses of the Holy. My favorite album from Led Zeppelin. I know a lot of people might be surprised about that because, you know, they might be expecting something like you know, Untitled or even Physical Graffiti. But what I liked about this record, they took a lot of risk with this record and stuff like that while still maintaining their hard rock edge. I love songs like The Song Remains the Same. Nice way to start the album. It also has my favorite Led Zeppelin song, The Rain Song. I love Dancing Days, I Hear Again. You know what I'm saying? All my Bobby Brown fans, y'all should know about that record. The Crunge, that was very good. Yeah, my favorite Led Zeppelin album to date. I don't give a damn what no one says. Then we got 1975 with Physical Graffiti. This album was a double album and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Very good album. I feel like this album was very, very, very diverse with its sound and shit like that. Everyone knows the song Kashmir. That was good. They had the unreleased House of the Holy. 10 years gone. Oh, wow. Damn, man. Like, whoo! Robert Plant, he did his thing on that record and shit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. This album, very, very, very good album. A little trivia. Rolling Stones, they filmed the Waiting for a Friend music video where this building took place in London and shit like that too. So that's a little trivia right there for y'all. Not a lot of people know that. Then we have 1976 with Presence. This album came out during like a hectic period for the Zepp and shit like that too. Robert Plant was like in a car accident around that time. He was in a car accident around that time and shit like that. And he couldn't walk for a while. And Jimmy Page, he pretty much wanted to like do an album, like Russian album, so it can like sustain like their legacy. Well, he pretty much just wanted to do an album and stuff like that, just so he can like give the public what they wanted. I mean, it was a huge risk releasing this album a year after Physical Graffiti and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? But let me tell you something. When it comes to like the last two Led Zeppelin albums and stuff like that, and I'm gonna do a re-review. I'm actually gonna do like a re-review on those like very soon. Stay tuned on that. But when it comes to like those last two Led Zeppelin albums, I was a bit too hard on them. Not saying that they were bad records and stuff like that, but you know, I definitely felt like there was very spoiled from the 1969 to 1975 output that I didn't really want to give the last two albums a chance. But re-listening to this album now, all I'm gonna say, man, this might be some of Jimmy Page's best work for the group, production and guitar wise. It's a very guitar heavy album. I'm gonna be real with you. Like Achilles' Last Stand, my favorite track off this record. I don't want to say too much, but Royal Orleans was pretty good too. Yeah, man. Like very, very, very great album. Like it's not, I wouldn't call it a classic album, but I feel like it's very close to it. And finally, we got their last album, In Through the Outdoor. This album came out in 1979. This album, again, it's not a bad album. It was a bit experimental, and around this time, you know, Bonzo and Page were going through like substance issues, and they were in the studio a lot and stuff like that too. Robert Plant's son passed away from stomach cancer and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Very, 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 very good album and stuff, in my opinion. You know, songs like Fool in the Rain, In the Evening, definitely songs like you would not expect to hear from like Zeppelin and stuff like that too, you know what I'm saying? Because it definitely had like a very strong commercial, radio friendly kind of feel to it, kind of experimenting with like a lot more foreign sounds and stuff too, because John Paul Jones and Robert Plant were doing a lot of production, and then Jimmy and John were coming later and overdub what they already done and shit like that too. So yeah, very cool album. And again, when it comes to like these last two Zepp albums, don't expect a lot of the earlier shit. Just listen to it with an open mind. That's all I'm gonna say. Then we have the late great Lisa Left Eye Lopez, Supernova. You know, this album came out in 2001. Overseas. Very great album. I'm gonna say this once and for all. This album shits all over fan mail and 3D. I don't give a fuck what nobody say. I don't. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, she did a thing with this one. I wish it was released in the States, but fucking Arista Records, you know, fucking. A lot of people say like Clive Davis was very upset that TLC barged in his office and he wanted to do everything to bring down Lisa Left Eye Lopez, which, you know, that's just allegations, but you know, this was known for tracks like Life is Like a Park, The Block Party was dope, Hot, Rags to Riches, you know, with Andre Rison, you know what I'm saying? Like, very, very good album. Shout out to Ashley for hooking me up with this one. Then we got Lil Jon and the East Side Boys with that Crunk Juice. This album came out in 2004. Very good album. I know a lot of people might be surprised I fuck with Lil Jon. and stuff like that too. But I do like crunk, but not like when everyone did crunk. Like Lil Johnny was like the go-to, like the godfather of that sound and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? This album was known for songs like, Lovers and Friends. Oh my God. Love that track, you know what I'm saying? White Meat with 8Ball MJG. The Blow with the late, great Gangsta Boo. We're losing our legends, man. It's not even funny. Grand Finale with T.I., Nas, Fat Joe, Bun B, and Ice Cube. You know what I'm saying? Hell, Ice Cube even appeared on a song called Real Nigga Roll Call. So yeah, this is a very great album. If you're into that crunk music. Then we have Lil Kim with Hardcore. This album came out in 1996. Very great album. Her only classic album. Look how she used to look back in the day, man. Like, she was fine as a motherfucker, man. Very great album. This is known for songs like Drugs, Crush on You. A little trivia about the song Crush on You. If you hear the song, excuse me, it's just Lil C's version, but in the video, it has Lil Kim on it. There was a reason behind that. I think the reason was when they were making this album, she and Biggie had like a huge fight about something. She just disappeared for like a couple of days, and when she came back, the album was in its finishing touches, and they pretty much told Lil C's to just do that solo song Crush on You. And when Lil Kim heard it and loved it, she wrote a verse, and that's how, whenever you watch the video of Crush on You, like let's say like on MTV Jams or whatever, it's gonna have like Crush on You remix, because technically that's like the remix of the song. Because if you want to be real, Crush on You solo version was like unofficially Lil C's song, but at the same time the remix is Lil Kim. It's something weird. You guys know what I'm getting at. But hey, Big Mama Thing with Jay-Z. Another trivia about that song. The original version was a diss track to Faith Evans and Pac. And it's on YouTube too. I prefer the original version, but they didn't want to drop that version because, when Big heard it, he didn't want to like the fact that Kim was talking about Faith Evans, because Faith Evans was Biggie's wife. So, they called up Jay-Z to drop a verse and stuff like that too, you know what I'm saying? So I prefer the original version because she actually went ham on both of them. I'm not even gonna hold you. Queen Bitch, Dreams, which her version of Just Playing Dreams from Biggie. Yeah, this is a very great album. I love it. LL Cool J. Lil Wayne. Carter 3. This album came out in 2008. Love this album. His best album to me. You know what I'm saying? Sorry about that. Just to let y'all know, this is actually the OG copy. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is because they have this song called Playing in Fire on this album, with Betty Wright, the late, great Betty Wright. But sample clearances block that from getting released in future repressings of the album, that they had to replace that with a song, I think a song called like Pussy Monster or some shit like that. This album was known for very great songs like Tie My Hands, Shoot Me Down. That's like that and Dr. Carter, my two favorite tracks off this record. La La with Briscoe and Busta. You know what I'm saying? One of his last great albums, in my opinion. I love this album. Even though I did like Carter 5, that was pretty good too. I'm not even gonna hold you. All right, y'all, we're almost finished. It's LL Cool J, Bad, 1987, fucking classic album. You know what I'm saying? This album definitely stepped his pen game up with this album and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, this is known for songs like I'm Bad, Can They, Go Cut Creator Go. Very great album. Then we have 2 years later, Walking with the Panther. This album came out in 1989. This album, I'm gonna keep it a buck. This album could have been just as good as the previous two without those love songs. I feel like if you would have probably just kept I'm That Type of Guy, it would I would don't mind it. I don't really mind Big Old Butt like that, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, this is a very, very, very polarizing album. I know a lot of fans don't care for this album like that, you know what I'm saying? But honestly, I feel like this album kind of gets a bit slept on and shit like that too. Cause it has some of some of my personal favorite LL songs on this record, like Going Back to Cali, you know, Smoking Dopin', you know, what's that one song? 1-900 LL Cool J was dope. You know, Def Jam in the Motherland. You know what I'm saying? This album, very, very, very good, in my opinion. Well, it's not the best thing since Sliced Bread. Like I said, Love Song kind of drags the album down a bit, but it's definitely, I highly recommend it for LL fans. I feel like diehard LL fans would appreciate that record. Then we have his magnum opus, Mama Said Knock You Out, or I'm Gonna Knock You Out. Like, y'all should know about this record right here. This is actually my favorite LL Cool J album to date and stuff like that too, you know what I'm saying? You know, he did this album, you know, after his grandma told him to knock out the critics because they just pretty much just ripped apart Walking with the Panther. And at that time too, you know, commercially, you know, it did well commercially, but, you know, the hip hop crowd were calling him like watered down and sellout. He even went to like a concert, I think like some like hip hop summit or whatever, and they even booed him and shit like that too, you know what I'm saying? So this album, he kind of had to prove something back. I feel like this album definitely has its lady songs, its hard hitting tracks right here. You know what I'm saying? This is known for songs like the title track, Illegal Search. You know, he was talking about, you know, police brutality with that track. You know, Around the Way Girl, Murdergram. Yeah, this album, very great album. One of my favorite diss tracks, To the Break of Dawn. Da 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 da. Yeah, y'all check out the original version of that track. He did it in a live performance. It has the Kenny Burke rising to the top beat and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? I love that version of style. I loved how he was flowing with that one. Then we have 14 Shots to the Dome. This album came out in 1993. Almost there, y'all. Almost there. Very dope album. This album, you know, he went for that more death row kind of like gangster kind of rap kind of feel to it. You know what I'm saying? If you want to say it that, you know, if you want to say that, but there was like some songs where I felt like it was like a continuation to certain songs from Mama Said Knock You Out, like songs like, you know, Stand By Your Man. Definitely reminds me of Around the Way Girl. Pink Cookies in the Plastic Bag Getting Crushed by Buildings. That reminds me of that 6 Minutes of Pleasure. Check out the Easy Mo B remix with the Esther Phillips sample. Oh, fucking great sample. The album version with Marty Marl was pretty good, but it uses this very familiar sample, The Emotions, Blind Alley, which that's been done a lot. Most famously, Big Daddy Kane, Ain't No Half Steppin'. So, yeah, very, very great album. Then we have Mr. Smith. You know what I'm saying? This is LL Cool J, 1995. Very great album as well, too. Just to let you know, whenever I put my phone down, I gotta drink some water. Yeah. Whew, I'm talking a lot. Shit. I'm gonna run quickly, just letting y'all know. Mr. Smith, this album came out in 1995. Shit. Very, very, very great album. I definitely feel like this is his last classic album to date, if you ask me, or shit like that. You know what I'm saying? He went for that a bit more of the R&B kind of side of things. You know, we'll say he like a good mixture of the hard-hitting hip-hop tracks and then a little bit like the Hey Lovers and the Doing It and shit like that too. Very dope tracks like I Shot Your remix and the original was good. You know, him throwing shots at Pac and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Remix, you know, both Prodigy and the late great Prodigy and Keith Murray were showing shots at each other. Doing It was good. Check out the Doing It Again song, the sequel on the Nutty Professor soundtrack. You won't regret it. So yeah, very, very, very great album. And the last of the LLs we got is GOAT. This album came out in 2000. This album was okay. Wasn't really the biggest fan of this record and shit like that. This came out 3 years after the Phenomenon album, which, oh my god, damn. Yeah, I don't even want to talk about that record and shit. So, this is a very, very cool album. You know, it did have some quality songs I do like. Let me see. I love Back Where I Belong with Ja Rule. That was like Cannabis diss track. You know, Forget About It, DMX, Method Man, and Redman. You know what I'm saying? Homicide was very good. You Can't Fuck With Me with Snoop, Exhibit, and Jail Felony. Very, very cool album. You know, not my favorite LL album, but I'll accept it. All right, Little Brother, Minstrel Show, 2005. Shout out to Ninth Wonder, by the way. Very, very, very cool song right here. Definitely took this whole minstrel show concept and applied it to like a lot of the black culture at this time too. You know what I'm saying? More like a satirical kind of look. This was known for songs like Not Enough, Cheating, Slow It Down, I Wonder Why, like Say It Again. Yeah, this is a very, very great album. Love it. And then we have Logic with The Incredible True Story. This album came out 2015 and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Okay. Yeah, this is a very, very hot album and stuff like that too, you know what I'm saying? Definitely did this thing on this record. Again, they don't post a track listing, so yeah, some songs I just gotta look up and shit, you know what I'm saying? There we go. Thank you. Like Never Been, Upgrade was cool. City of Stars was good too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, very, very, very dope album from Logic and shit like that. I'm not the biggest Logic fan though, but you know, he does his thing though, you know, on occasion he does his thing. Then next album is Loose Ends. Look How Long. This album came out in 1990. Pretty cool album. You know what I'm saying? This album came out like when the original members of Loose Ends broke up due to like issues with one another. So, you know, one of the members, you know, he kind of had his own unofficial solo album as well too. You know what I'm saying? Pretty cool album. You know what I'm saying? Definitely has a like house R&B kind of feel to it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Loose Ends, Look How Long. Very, very, very dope album. Yeah, I'm trying to fight sleepiness right now. Y'all hear me yawning. But we almost there. Trust me. We're not going to stop until we get to that album. All right, Lost Boys, Legal Drug Money. Came out in 1996. Yeah, 96. Classic album. Lost Boys, definitely one of my favorite rap groups at that time. Mr. Cheeks, the late great Freaky Tah. You know what I'm saying? This was known for songs like Renee, Lifestyles the Rich and Shameless. You know, All Right, Get Up. Very, very dope album. This is the type of album you will play at a fucking cookout and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the most hardcore album at that time, but definitely like a nice little vibe. Then we have Love, Peace, and Nappiness, 1997. Very great album in my opinion. I kind of like this album a bit more than Legal Drug Money. This is known for songs like Me and My Crazy World, Love, Peace, and Happiness, you know, using the Slick Rick Hey Young World sample. Get Your Hustle On was pretty good. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I love this record. Rest in peace, Freaky Tah. Then we have LSG, you know, with their album and stuff like that. The self-titled album. This album came out in 1997. Very, very, very great album. Joe Levert, Johnny Gill, and Keith Sweat, they all did their thing on this one right here and shit. You know what I'm saying? Everyone knows it's on My Body. Then we have All the Times, Curious, Love Hurts, You Got Me, Round and Round. Classic R&B right here. Damn it. Then we have now Ludacris. All right, I'm going to run by these very quickly and stuff like that since I pretty much have a lot of Luda albums on me and stuff like that. Some albums on vinyl as well too. Back for the First Time. Classic album. Love it. Known for songs like What's Your Fantasy, Southern Playlist of Cadillac. Southern Hospitality. Excuse me. What's Your Fantasy? You know what I'm saying? Stick 'em Up with UGK. Where's my song at? Mouthing Off. Yeah, Mouthing Off. Yeah, very great album. Word of Mouth. Very good album too. This came out in 2001. Very dope album cover. You know, this was known for songs like Coming to America, Rollout, Growing Pains, Area Codes. I love this album. Then we have Chicken and Beer with Ludacris. This album came out in 2003. My favorite Ludacris album to date. You know what I'm saying? He definitely did his thing on this record right here. He definitely did his thing. This is known for songs like Hip Hop Quotables, Splash Waterfalls. I love the version with the Tony sample. Hoes in My Room. I love the Southern Fried intro as well too. Dope album, I love it. Then we have Theater of the Mind, 2008. One of my favorite Ludacris albums ever. You know what I'm saying? He definitely went for the more conceptual route. Excuse me. Wanted each song to like represent a movie. I love Wish You Would, Southern Gangster. You know, I love I Do It for Hip Hop. Very, very, very dope record. Then we have MOP. You know, 2 MOP albums right here. We got us First Family for Life and Warriors. You know, First Family for Life. Very, very, very dope album and shit like that. 2 years after Firing Squad. This was known for songs like Breaking the Rules, Foil on Blaze with Jay-Z. I want to say Breaking the Rules also had Primo rapping and shit too. You know, Blood, Sweat, and Tears was dope. You know what I'm saying? This whole album, very, very slept on album if you ask me. Then we have 2000s Warriors. This album came out, you know, had that song Ante Up, which that was like their biggest song to date. Love song like Welcome to Brownsville, Face Off, you know what I'm saying? Negotiate. Yeah, cool album. All right, but next we got is Craig Mack, late great Craig Mack with Project Funk the World. This album came out in 1994. You know what I'm saying? Very, very, very good album. You know, known for songs like Flavor in the Ear, Welcome to 1994, That Y'all, Judgment Day. Yeah, man, this album definitely was a nice little album right here and stuff like that. You know, it's a shame that, you know, shit didn't work out with him and Puff because, you know, they had creative differences and he got pretty much into some trouble, which I'm just gonna leave that right there. Craig Mack, Project Funk the World. Almost, y'all, almost. Okay, so I got the rest of this one right here. Some all Madonna albums, so I'm just gonna knock these out right quick. Oh shit, I forgot I even had that record, okay? Alright. Excuse me. Madonna, self-titled, 1983. Classic album. Love that raw, dirty pop sound of that early 80s and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? Borderline, Holiday, Physical Attraction. You know, she was working heavily with Jelly Bean Productions and stuff like that too. Also want to say Nile Rodgers was doing some shit here too. So y'all know the steez with this one. 1989. We got is the what's this album? Like a Prayer. Yeah, very, very, very dope record right here. And shit like that too. I don't know why I put this one right here. Very dope record. Not only one of my favorite Madonna albums, but at the same time, you know, I felt like the first half was very strong. The first half was very strong compared to the second half. I love songs like Express Yourself, To Death Do Us Part. Title track was good. Second half kind of had some songs like Oh Father was okay, you know. Also a little trivia, Prince also helped co-write Love Song and stuff too. So yeah, very, very good album. Now, Erotica. Yes, classic album. Possibly my favorite Madonna album, if you ask me. This is the album I felt like she just really went in and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Production, lyrics, and stuff too. You know, and it's crazy because this album gets like a lot of hate and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? But I feel like she did a thing with this one. I love songs like Bad Girl, Deeper and Deeper, Bye Bye Baby. She did her own version of Fever. You know, I got that, and then this version came with the sex book too, so I was like, you know what, I can still keep this and shit. Then we got Bedtime Stories that came out in 1994. This actually used to be my favorite Madonna album too, but at the same time, I was just like, you know what, Erotica just grew on me. This one, she was trying to clean up her image a bit, did a bit more ballads, working with Babyface and stuff like that too, Dallas Austin. You know, this was pretty much her R&B album. Love this record. Take a Bow. I mean, whoa. Classic song. I love the video to that song. And I also loved when she and Babyface duetted it. I think it was like the Billboard Award they did that. I could be wrong. Forbidden Love. Secret. I'd Rather Be a Lover. Little trivia about that song, I'd Rather Be a Lover. That was originally supposed to have been featuring Tupac and stuff like that too, but around this time, Pac was going through that whole sexual abuse trial and stuff like that, and he had just recently gotten shot, and they felt like it was not going to be a good look with Madonna and stuff like that too. And you guys should also know that they were also dating around this time too. So yeah, man. Very, very, very dope album. Love it. Then we have Ray of Light. Oh my God. Oh, I was so happy I got this record and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? Very great album. Her last great album in my opinion. Ray of Light was good. Skin, Sky Fits Heaven. Yeah, she went in on this one. This is like her comeback album and stuff too. So yeah. After Ray of Light, she just got very hit or miss. Alright, I got compilations and a single. I got the Immaculate Collection. This came out in 1990. You know, really though, I really just got this because the Vogue song, as Vogue, Express Yourself, and stuff like that too, you know what I'm saying? Two of Madonna's best songs, if you ask me. Oh, I forgot Justify My Love, which we're going to get into with this single right here. One of my favorite Madonna songs. The song was very controversial when it came out because, you know, the sexually explicit lyrics, and then the video from MTV, which got her banned from MTV and shit too. So what ended up happening, she actually debuted that video on Nightline and stuff like that too, you know what I'm saying? So very, very cool album cover too, you know. I was so happy I got this single. I love the hip hop mix though. That was very good. I want to say the hip hop mix. No, I thought it was Marley Marl. It's not Marley Marl and shit, you know. But yeah, highly recommended if stuff like that, you know. Oh, also Lenny Kravitz also produced this record too. All right, last 5 albums. Yes, finally. Whew. Then we got Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch. Music for the People. Yes, fucking Mark Wahlberg. Very dope album. I love songs like Wild Style, Wild Side, About Time I Funk You, Good Vibrations, you know what I'm saying? You know, he's not the best rapper, but I got this just for fuck's sakes. I'm not even gonna hold it. I think there's like a couple of cents and shit too, so yeah. Marley Marl, In Control Volume 2, 1991. Not a good album, not a good compilation. You know what I'm saying? The established artists did their thing, but the newer artists I could have done without and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? It's not touching In Control Volume 1. Favorite track, I like the Symphony Part 2. I'll Be Getting Busy with LL Cool J was good. America Easter Young with Tragedy and Chuck D was good. But I think like after I Be Getting Busy, it just gets kind of hit or miss and stuff. So yeah, if you can find it, must have in your collection. Then we got Mace with Harlem World, a very good album. His only great album, in my opinion, stuff like that too. This is known for songs like Take What's Yours with DMX. 24 Hours to Live was dope too. Play Away, Looking at Me was good. Yeah, very good album for Mace, man. Then we got MC Master Ace with Incorporated with Slaughterhouse and Sitting on Chrome. Both very great albums. You know, he, after the release of Take a Look Around in 1990, he pretty much did this shit right here. Very good albums. I'm more for Sitting on Chrome guy. Slaughterhouse was good, you know. Definitely had songs like Jeep Ass Nigga, Big East, Star Wars, you know. Them just, you know, making fun of gangster rap. But Sitting on Chrome was a very good concept album and stuff like that too. Much more smooth and laid back. I love songs like the INC Ride, Turn It Up, You Can't Find Me. Very dope of them, both dope classic albums. And thank y'all so much for watching the CD recap and stuff like that too. You know what I'm saying? I'm probably gonna I'm gonna drop this one like it's pretty much tonight and shit like that, you know what I'm saying? And then hopefully I'm gonna catch everything. I'm gonna catch up on the rest of the CD recaps before I get to the box and stuff like that. So thank y'all so much and hope y'all have a good night. Peace.